Welcome, welcome to today's Love Satsang about the topic of plugging out of 3D systems and plugging into five-dimensional consciousness. I have been guided to talk about this topic, although we are still in a very much transitioning phase. And over the past satsangs, I've mainly focused also on each individual. Of course, always a little bit also thinking ahead of collective movements. But with this today's podcast, I'm already saying, with this today's satsang, I would love to give a little bit of a look out why I'm always referring back to soul, to the soul, to the connection to soul, to have this topic so dominant in my teachings, because I see it as a necessary step and an automatic programming even inside of us that we are all transitioning through to get from this old world of separation, survival, hustle, ego patterns, shame, guilt, fear, all of these things out into 5D, 5D meaning unity consciousness, love, truth, authenticity, soul-based living, purpose-driven world, co-creation, and so forth. Yeah, so it is a little bit of a weaving of soul-based living, soul alignment, soul identity shifting, and so forth, what I've discussed in previous satsangs and also in my podcast, to actually also make you understand why this topic is so important and purposeful for all of us. And I know sometimes we are so stuck in our own little world, in our stories, in our drama, in our bubble of how we see the world and ourselves. And actually there it already starts, because this is all in a way 3D thinking, that we are so much focused. And sometimes it's good to focus on yourself, of course, because first you have to do all these internal processes, but also we are in this phase of balancing the individual with the collective, not letting us be all equal in the sense of making us equal, because we are not equal in the sense of we have different gifts and talents, and we all see the world differently, because we're all puzzle pieces of one grand puzzle. So we cannot apply the same things for all people, but more so how you can be unique and individual whilst being in the collective, whilst being integrated. And this is part of this shift to 5D consciousness. And maybe also before I dive right into this topic, to get on the same page, what I hear in this transmission mean by 3D and 5D. These are dimensions, of course, but I'm referring to the levels of consciousness. 3D, 4D, 5D. 4D, a lot of people don't even talk about, because it's this transitioning phase we are all currently already in. I mean, not all, but like if you are listening to these transmissions, I would say you're most probably in 4D already, because 4D is a questioning, the repatterning, the purging, the activations, the reclamation, the remembering. So we have the 3D consciousness, as I already mentioned. It's basically, you can remember the keywords ego, which is tied to survival mechanisms, to separation, to greed, competition, to materialism, to shame, guilt, fear, to this is mine, this is, I have to protect myself and shut somehow people out or make benefit of others even. That's more the 3D consciousness, which is a lot connected to the lower chakras. If you go in the energetics, the lower chakras, especially also the root in terms of survival, and the solar plexus in terms of power. My power. I want to have power over others. That was our centuries of humanity's journeying of this game of life was dominated by 3D consciousness. And there's no judgment from the divine perspective, of course. it was what it was, and it is what it is now. I mean, it's just a cycle we are transitioning through. So it's not in a way also finger pointing or something. It's more also an awareness I want to give you. What is 3D? And now souls, like we souls, we came here to make that shift happen from 3D over 4D, via 4D, through 4D to 5D consciousness. 4D, as I already said, is a remembering, the questioning, this little voice in your head, like this cannot be the truth. We are all somehow connected, interconnected. If I do something, someone else is affected. We activate more our heart frequency also. Yeah, it comes more from the lower chakras into the upper chakras. Heart space is a transitioning point in that way also, like the gateway between lower and upper chakras. So 4D is currently happening in the majority of conscious evolution of our soul evolution, also our soul journey, to question the old and establish the new. So it's in a way a two-way street. We recognize the old is somehow outdated, it's not working, it's not really the truth, not the truth of what we are. We are all interconnected, all one, all connected through love and truth in that sense also. And at the other way, pathway more upwards, it's about how can we make that happen? Not only remembering it, but also reclaiming that it's ours already, and bringing it down here to earth. Because 5D consciousness is basically tapping into your soul frequency or into the divine frequency, which is already one, is already love, is already co-creation, cooperation, or this sense of we want to journey together, not as separate individual beings, but as individuals in the tapestry of humanity, and create something magical together. Yeah, not fight with each other power-wise. 4D is a transition. Yeah, 4D is a transition, is coming to your heart, a lot of heart activations, a lot of heart wall breakings, relationships, connections, disappointments, frustrations, forgiveness, all these topics, to actually first of all wipe clean the heart, like let the heart breathe again, make it golden and shiny, so that the switch is again on and you can tap into higher frequency, not only as a glimpse, not only when you meditate, not only when you have your medicine journeys or whatever you use to get into a higher state of consciousness, but actually to be there more consistently, and not in a practical practice, like not that you have to put effort in it, but that it is becoming a state of being. Yeah, this is a little bit the rough cut of the journey from 3D, 4D to 5D consciousness. Yeah, it's a way of consciousness, and dimensions is another story. It's in a way like the fifth dimension is not really physical. What we are collectively doing is bringing the consciousness level of the fifth dimension into the in the third dimension, so to say. We merge that down. That is how you can maybe imagine it. We bring that state of consciousness to the density of time-space dimension we have here on planet Earth. It's, at least in this time, not about transcendence and going out of the body. Spirituality is about activating 5D consciousness and integrating it so you can embody it. Embody it while having this physical form. And of course, your physical form also adapts in a way. It has to adapt in the sense of, that your body, your physical body, your nervous system also can hold higher frequencies, can hold this higher vibrational state of being, the fifth dimensional state. Yeah, it's really like an upgrade, you can say, an upgrade to your human avatar that you are journeying through. And the more journey through it, the more also others can more easily hook onto this 5D consciousness. Yeah, the more of us get ignited and activated and consciously put effort in doing it, or are automatically activated, the more others also will get entrained, so to say, entrained to this frequency. Yeah. So this overall, just to have the same idea of what 3D, 5D is in this conversation here today, is really worth considering also in your own life, of course, to make it very practically applicable to your own life, where you see yourself, and maybe why you are wondering, why do I go through all this, so much disruption, so much letting go, so much detachment, so much back and forth, and somehow, yeah, not really seeing maybe sometimes where the path actually leads, question mark. Yeah, where you might be sometimes confused, lost, where you sometimes feel like, okay, I have to change that now, I shift that now, or you have here a podcast, here information, yeah, information overload. And sometimes maybe you find yourself like, I don't want to do anything today. I just need my rest, and I need a lot of sleep, maybe also for your body to really integrate and digest all of this information that is coming not only from outside that you actively search, but that also comes down from your soul, so to say, yeah, which is directed by your soul. That's how I see it, at least, that your soul drops these activations and codes to, yeah, to make your human avatar prepared to hold these frequencies even more. This is more the individual sense. What I would love to transition now to is, and what I also have framed this transmission today, is the global picture. So this is tied to especially these bigger systems of politics, school, so education, and medical systems. Maybe also something like street systems, or like how countries, yeah, it's actually politics as well, like how countries organize themselves and interact with each other, so to say. And we have also there this individual vibration of 3D and 5D that we can map to our collective organization, or how the planet Earth organizes itself through us, or how we organize this planet. Yeah, because if we are predominantly what we have been collectively as a human species in 3D consciousness, yeah, you remember root chakra, survival, solar plexus chakra, power, survival and power also connected to ego, actually. Lower vibrational states in the sense of this is more me, or mine. Then, of course, it led to wars, to fighting about which country belongs to whom, about who is right and wrong, about who is better, who is more wealthy, who is more successful. Yeah, all these topics that we have on on the individual level, we have then collectively. The 3D systems are, in that sense, also penetrated by this 3D consciousness. So you see also each one of us, yeah, has the power to make a slight change in the whole collective system. It is organic. I see it like an organic grid. So yeah, maybe to bring you a little bit into my inner world. Sometimes it's a bit complex. I hope yeah, it makes sense for those who are here to receive that. I feel it's, in a way, you have the planet Earth, yeah, the wall planet, our Earth, and then you have grid lines and grid points over it, and they can organically move. And this is kind of like the system that makes this planet livable, or like alive for our human species, and also, of course, the other species, but we have more our consciousness involved in it. Yeah, and this is infused, so to say, by our state of consciousness. So 3D consciousness makes this grid very dense, very, yeah, if you have colors, maybe more black, gray kind of things. Yeah, more gloomy, more dusty, dirty, because it is, yeah, a little bit sneaky sometimes, even like it is not the purity of our soul, because it's flavored by the mechanisms of the ego, the pattern of the ego, survival and power structures. And this penetrated our politics, our educational system, religion even, yeah, to name that also, medical system also, power structures we have. And now with the 4D consciousness that we have collectively more and more, the questioning, the refusing to listen and to tap more into one's own truth, to really see behind the wheel of forgetting, yeah, to remember, to have glimpses of, this is how actually it feels more natural and it feels more right. It feels more loving, how we can live, how we could live. Visionaries, yeah, visions you maybe even have if you're one of the ones who really drive that forward. Plans, projects, communities, the community aspect that has risen more and more and is rising as well, to have little islands of, okay, how can we live in more harmony and more balance, and more also a balance between the masculine and feminine energies, which is also a topic that interplays there, yeah, power dynamics between the masculine and feminine, that has been a topic over centuries and disrupted the balance of these to really dance in harmony also globally. Yeah, we are individually still working on it, but that penetrates it, or that yeah, infuses also the whole this grid around the globe. So with 4D, how I see it, this grid is somehow a little bit, yeah, from the inside, it's disrupted. Little cracks in this grid. That grid that might have been very stable because the majority of people had been in 3D consciousness. Now more and more has cracks, has loopholes, has, yeah, also more holes where you can look through, so to say, where people say, no, this is not what I want to participate in. I'm rejecting that, maybe even totally, or I'm finding my way through it. I'm sneaking my way out of it, finding alternatives, finding new ways of being, of cooperating, of collaborating, coming back to the heart. That is a 4D journey a lot of people are in. Has a lot to do with healing of trauma, of the relationship to the parents, of forgiveness, of healing past relationship patterns, attachment styles, and so forth. Because all of this has shut down the heart to trust, to surrender, to be open, to flow, to connect, to really enjoy connection. This is 4D happening. Yeah, a lot of more things are happening, but I feel this is a key turning point or gateway. Our heart is a gateway to really blast these 3D systems that feel for a lot of people by now even like a, yeah, like a contraction, like an imprisonment, that we can blast that open, that we can activate our heart so much that we collectively, yeah, maybe literally give hands to each other and say, no, this is not the way we want to live. We want something in harmony and balance. We want different opinions to make something magic out of it. We don't want to walk like this. We want to walk like this. We want to embrace each other again in trust, in mutual give and take, in balance. Also, yeah, here again, the masculine and feminine in harmony, not against each other, not pointing at each other, but like cooperating, teamwork, collaboration, community, all of these beautiful terminologies that then break these 3D structures. And yeah, we can imagine, or we can collectively envision that, yeah, some things are in the unknown still, of course. It's just like how it could be that the more people activate their heart frequency again, the less power these 3D systems, or the ones still holding on to the 3D consciousness and forcing these 3D systems onto the other people, that those are not in power anymore. That the heart, I mean, the heart, at least for me, the heart is one of the most powerful energies because it's related to love, to truth, to harmony, to unity. It's this, yeah, it's also even the center of our body, of our system. If we have the vertical and the horizontal axis, it goes in and out in all directions. Yeah, it's a gateway. It's that point, that point that we somehow, I feel, even it's like a threshold we as humanity need to merge into so that we can not even have to force any new systems, but that the old will fade away automatically because it has no substance to grasp onto. Only those still vibrating in the three-dimensional world and consciousness are prone to still be hooked onto 3D concepts and projects and politics and so forth. Once you have started questioning, you're not easily to be convinced anymore. Yeah, you will question further. You will even say like, this is ridiculous. I mean, this doesn't make even sense. Why should I give up my sovereignty? Sovereignty is also a key word here. Yeah, 4D is also a lot about reclaiming your sovereignty, that not someone else is more powerful than you. We have all the same equal power. It's just a way of like reclaiming that power, that you can make a decision, that you are allowed to have a beautiful life, that you are not meant to hustle and grind to survive, that you can even thrive in the sense of living your soul purpose now, that you allow yourself to claim, I want a life that fulfills me. Yeah, if I think back in a way or feel back into the time when people, yeah, lived so much in survival, a lot of us have been, yeah, or have incarnated in circumstances that are far more favorable to make a choice, to say, that's not my path. I know I came here as a soul to make a difference, to make an impact, to change something, to disrupt something, to catalyze this movement. Yeah, and sometimes it's even like a momentum that can build inside of you, because once you started questioning and regained more of your power back, you actually feel a drive behind your mission, your soul's purpose. Yeah, also 4D, I would say, is that point of reconnection, of maybe even you can situate in this field the tower moments and void state, where you are reconnected with your soul and the divine. I also talked about that in another Love Satsang, the void state and ego death and so forth. So, because of course, 3D structures have this ego a lot going on. In 4D, ego has to dissolve more and more, so that in 5D consciousness, you are much more in soul frequency. Yeah, ego, dissolution of ego, soul. Or even in 4D, it's a two-way thing. It's dissolution of ego and plugging back into your soul. 5D consciousness is then being in the frequency of your soul, knowing your essence again, your truth, your purpose, your mission. You are driven. You are reconnected with your original signal, because all of this nonsense of some people are in power and you have no power kind of things, have not even made you believe that you have something greater than your limited human avatar is. Yeah, you have thought, or you have been conditioned to think, to believe, I'm small, I just don't have any impact, I'm just here living my life day in, day out. And so many people who don't question, therefore end up in cycles of, yeah, depression, of waiting for the weekend to really celebrate, being drained, being bored, being burned out, all of these things that we had in the past. And I'm really happy to see that more and more people are in 4D stage of transformation. Yeah, it's maybe sometimes a heavy state, but necessary. Our souls came here to purge out the 3D layers and activate the 5D layers. It's already beautiful, and some souls may have chosen to stay in the 4D consciousness, yeah, heart activation. But after that, 5D consciousness awaits automatically, oneness, unity. How can we make systems that benefit all of us, that actually not only benefit us, but that where we can contribute with our unique gifts for something greater? where we can, like a magic potion, put all our magics inside of it and then stir the magic potion and have something beautiful we can collectively participate from. Yeah. So it is really seeing new ways of opening our eyes to new ways of existing, being, co-creating, collaborating, especially also in the fields of politics, finances also, I haven't mentioned yet. Yeah, finances, money also, very important to have this new thinking of abundance and prosperity, wealth blueprints. Yeah, big topic. I might also at some point dive deeper into that because it's a collective. Yeah, it's collectively really an urgent reprogramming that's needed. I feel. Anyway, so finances, religion, education, yeah, school system and medical system. These are the biggest systems I would name here for the global collective shift, and of course also little structures of the like the countries and towns and little villages, and from their communities and families. Yeah, even a family is a system in that sense. So new family systems will also evolve with 5D consciousness. And that is something where I see soul groups. Yeah, not in the sense that souls incarnate in families to purge ancestral karma, because at some point we have the majority of it done, but more so that more souls incarnate to really collaborate in a very beautiful family soul group to do mission work as a family. Already exists, but I would say it's becoming more and more the kind of normal. Yeah. And also in partnership, of course, like sacred union as part of 5D consciousness. Sacred union where the masculine and feminine inside of you, but also outside, is really in balance, harmony, and creating magic together, being in purpose together. Yeah. This is, the overall picture. Yeah, and this is also why I feel like whenever I talk about soul, I have this in my background running of this is a collective movement. So the more of us reconnect with soul, which is intrinsically 5D somehow, in my opinion, like oneness, love, truth. Yeah, if you think from your soul, or if you operate from soul, from your essence, from your original blueprint, you won't fall into 3D patterns or structures. 4D is all about like this clearing out of the shit, yeah, the dust and dirt, so you can, or wiping clear your glasses so that you can really see yourself again, because already it is there. I mean, 5D is there. It's nothing we establish as new. All levels of consciousness are always already here now. And sometimes you may have glimpses into it. Sometimes you have experiences that give you a taster of it. Yeah, kind of like, okay, this is how it could be. So that your system more and more is trained to know and recognize and then initiate those projects or visions that contribute to the collective 5D architecture. And I would even say that the 5D architecture, and that's why I actually also called it 3D systems and 5D architecture, because an architecture is much more of this is a building. Yeah, it's a building where we can see different rooms, different patterns outside, but we can still mold it into something new also. And a system is much more already fixed. Yeah, of course, there's movement always, but it's more already, okay, this is the system, this is how it works, this is how I was conditioned, and this is the way. Yeah. Coming out of that into 5D architecture is like, oh, okay, we have a buffet of new things. And maybe, yes, there are some forms of, okay, this could be a very well-suited system that people agree on or that makes sense, that is already kind of like given to us as a present, and we can see like, okay, this is a vision we have. How can we make it practical? How can we bring it down from the visionary imaginary state of being, the subtle layers? How can we manifest it? How we can really put our hands in it? How can we make it happen? How can we put that into action? That is sometimes what is maybe with some missing when they think about 5D. It's like, okay, 5D consciousness, but we still need this bringing down into embodiment, action steps, making things happen. And there are already, of course, some movements, but it will become more and more, so that this, what I explained on the earth ball, the grid of the 3D, which is cracked open by the 4D consciousness people, suddenly breaks or falls apart, or maybe lies in kind of loose debris somewhere. The 5D structure already is on top of that, around it, so that actually once this 3D structure falls away, 5D remains, and we can then plug into that. And by plugging in, I mean really like drawing your energy from 3D and directing your energy towards 5D. Directing your energy consciously to what you wish, what you envision, what your soul already vibrates in, what you have glimpses from, dreams of, or communications about, or maybe it's a life topic, the topic of your life, in a way that you feel like, I'm here for this, which becomes more and more something realistic in that sense also. I sometimes feel there are some visionaries who might in the past have felt like, I don't know if this is really possible, but I have such a clear vision of something. Now it's more and more possible, and also supported by the cosmic energy in that sense. Aquarian energy, Aquarian age. Aquarius is exactly that energy that drives us into 5D consciousness automatically. So our whole universe is is conspiring with us, so to say. If you see it like this, beautiful evolution where we are part of, where we can bring ourselves in. And instead of being dragged down by what you see on television, and I don't want to negate what is happening or downplay what is happening, but instead of letting yourself be drowned in scenes that are still alive due to 3D consciousness, that you make a choice what your soul came here for. Your soul already has something inside of you. You came here to focus your energy, to plug into something new together with us. We all are much more aligned with us when we focus towards what we want, instead of looking what doesn't work or what we don't want. It's a more efficient way of using energy in general, not just for this topic. In general, focus on what you desire, what you wish, what you dream of, what you envision, instead of letting your energy float back and be fragmented in some form by looking at what you don't want, what you even are angry about, frustrated about. So direct your focus, direct your energy. That I can say for this evolution as well. And then it's actually not so much of an active process of, okay, I questioned everything, I'm doing all my internal work, I'm now intentionally plugging into the 5D. It's even not necessary to put in so much effort, because it's an automatic process through us, where we only have to surrender, trust, listen to the internal guidance, and follow with aligned action. It's trust, surrender, listening deeply to your internal guidance, and following through with aligned action. That is what helps us more than people forcing something that is not meant yet to happen. Because also if you yeah, too ambitious maybe, you want it now and it's already here now, of course. Like I can also just sit in meditation and visualize and imagine and catapult myself in all these beautiful dimensions and other dimensions, higher even. But what we are doing here, again, we are bringing this dimension in our state of consciousness here to the physical world where we can feel it, where we can experience it with all our senses. That's a magic. We incarnated in this body so that we can experience what we can envision or what we remember from our soul, so that we can experience it through our human body. Yeah, not again transcending Chao. Here, embodiment, transmission, being together, seeing each other in the eye and seeing the soul again, seeing the soul again and the beauty of the essence and dancing with that. I mean, I have so many, yeah, sometimes so many images or remembrance of how it also already somehow was, or how it is as a blueprint inside all of us somewhere. So that's why I'm also eager to share all of that so that I can ignite some more remembrance inside of you and let you feel you are not alone, maybe in terms of when you have dreams about something, when you have visions, when you feel a nudge of I think I'm here for that. But to trust that and to go after that. And even if people around you, yeah, tell you differently, because, yeah, maybe they are still not at the same frequency you're already vibrating in, then it's sometimes even better to just be with yourself and connect with your own internal guidance and the vision. Or at some point also, actually, you will attract naturally also similar people, or those who magically are attracted, aligned with your vision, to cooperate, to collaborate on that. Then just be silent with those people who don't understand you. And yes, sometimes that's painful if that's people you love. Coming to soul, it's a devotion, what I always say. It's a devotion to your soul, and that comes, yes, with sort of sacrifices in that way. Sometimes where we have to make a choice of, okay, do I stay here now in this, where I feel actually limited and where I feel, yeah, somehow these people around me live values or concepts or are still stuck in systems where I don't resonate with because I've outgrown it. Then it's time to move on. That it's time to recognize, okay, I can lovingly release, because otherwise there's a pain of your soul not evolving. And the soul is intrinsically thriving to evolve, to grow, to expand, because we are limitless. So it's a natural instinct to want more, want further, want to see more of the grand picture of what reality is, what you are, what it is. With that sense, also to bring here this in the grand arc is also this oscillation, what I've already also talked about in several transmissions, from remembering to forgetting to remembering, this pendulum the divine plays through us to experience itself. That 3D to 5D is actually a little bit like from the forgetting. 3D is a lot forgetting, yeah, ego, a lot of resistance to sometimes even find, like, yeah, I just like, yeah, some 3D structures are even made like, okay, it's ridiculous that you are divine, that something higher, intelligence, God, whatever you call it, run through you. And then 5D is like so much connected. It's like I am it. I'm just a spark of it. I'm making a, yeah, one I'm living one perspective of the whole. And nevertheless, everything is somehow inside of me. Yeah. So 5D is also the remembrance of the, at some point, yeah, higher and higher consciousness is the full remembrance, enlightenment, so to say, where you've a clear view again, a clear view of what this is all about, what you are, what your role or place is, how you are interconnected. And part of it, I would also argue, is that you are embracing, connected to your soul, which is in turn connected to the divine. I'm always and again repeating that, yeah. So it's automatic, actually, a reconnection to source in that way. 5D operates a lot with divine guidance, which needs trust and surrender. And in this 4D threshold transitioning phase, yeah, this is a time, the void state is a time where you are trained, your human avatar is trained, your also your mind, of course, and your nervous system, trained to trust again, trained to let go, trained to not control and plan everything, because you cannot, you're just forced even to be there, breathe, and flow and see what's happening next. I know sometimes it's not that funny, but in that sense, it is funny, because it's somehow a little bit like a little child that's like, I want to stay in my comfort zone, I want to stay in my ego. And then the divine comes like, no, no, it's time to evolve. And yeah, somehow sends you in a dark room to sit with yourself, reflect yourself, and let this ego surrender and say like, okay, I've surrendered now. Please guide me out of this dark room. I will follow your guidance. A little bit like this. But that's also the beauty of it. Afterwards, after that dark phase, you feel yourself again much lighter. Like literally, you feel lighter, lighter in your energy and expression, in your aura. You have gained wisdom, you have gained truth, you have most probably gained some glimpses into that divine essence that is running through you. So how we connect to 5D is this journey of awakening, of ascension. It's already happening, and again, you don't have to force anything. It's about trust, surrender, attunement, inner alignment, also inner alignment to your soul, to your essence, to your truth, reconnection to the divine, listening deeply and following that divine guidance. Or if you feel this is not resonating with you, this terminology, following your intuition, and take aligned action. Not questioning everything with your logical mind, not overthinking, but sometimes it's really like, okay, I'm trusting so much, I'm just going that step, even though I don't see the floor. Yeah, and you are trained. Your human is trained for it. That's why sometimes phases can feel a little bit out of your control, because they are meant to, so that you are directed, guided, orchestrated again. And in that sense, also, I see 5D, it's really the souls again, puppeteers, playing the human avatar in this game of life. Much more joyful, because there's not so much clutter of the 3D illusion, but more so a joyful, oh, let's create something, let's co-create, let's play together again. Let's see what's happening when we mix this and that. Alchemy, in a way, also. Magic, mystic, openness to explore, instead of having only a rigid view of something. It's so much beauty in there. And yes, we are still on the path. It's still a way to go. But this is how we unplug from 3D and plug into 5D, by going through actually the 4D stage. The 4D stage. And that is what you can also watch or listen to other transmissions here from me, where we are discussing the void state, where we're discussing being lost, reprogramming yourself, ego death, dark night of the soul. All of these buzzwords are, in my opinion, happening in this 4D transitioning stage most people are in. Yeah, but once you are out there, in a way, you already are in 5D. It's just sometimes that sometimes it can be that you drop back, that there is not a constant yet, that you drop sometimes back into 4 or 5 or 3D. Actually, also the higher your consciousness, the more conscious you can also choose, okay, now I'm choosing to be in my 3D aspect self, or my 4D and my 5D. So the higher can also go always lower. The lower cannot go easily higher, unless you then really make your way upwards, the spiral, the staircase. Anyways, so it can happen in the beginning that you skip the dimensions in that sense. For example, you fall again back into old patterns, ego structures, you close your heart again. So sometimes there's like a yo-yo effect. But that becomes smaller. So what might be like this in the beginning between different states of consciousness becomes smaller and smaller. The wave becomes like this, and then you're more like this. Yeah, where you vibrate constantly in 5D. And that's when once you're there, in my opinion, then you become a stabilizer for the 5D grid, that grid on planet Earth. And the more are in this state, the more dense and solidified becomes this 5D grid activate. I mean, it's already there energetically, but it becomes more activated on this planet. It's already there, but the more are in that state and embody that frequency, the more it becomes something tangible. Logic, right? It's logical in that sense. Yeah, the more it becomes tangible for us, the more it also becomes felt through transmission. So if you meet someone who is there and you are here, actually your system will naturally entrain, harmonize into that frequency. Yeah, of course, this one who is already here needs to be really stable in themselves. And that's sometimes the challenge of those who have already reached this state, to not also let them fall back into lower states because of others around them. Yeah, that's something also to, yeah, sometimes to train to how can I still be in my power, although I know I'm a pillar, I'm a light pillar, so to say, for this frequency to transmit. And then it comes, yeah, in this thinking of you actually only have to housekeep your own vibration to make it stable and steady. Others will automatically get the transmission. You don't have to force something onto someone transmission wise. You are already it when you vibrate in your own field. Yeah. It's in a way also a little bit the feminine energy of you. The feminine energy rests in vibration and attracts, magnetizes. So you don't have to think you now, when you have reached a certain level of consciousness, that you now have to go out into the world and ignite everyone. Yeah, that you have the responsibility in that. Of course, you have the responsibility in some form, but more so the responsibility to keep your own energy safe, your own frequency stable, to be aware of influences from outside that want to distract you, because in this game of life there are also always challenges and tests, and yeah, people just wanting your energy, so to say, maybe some tricksters, some jokers, yeah, if you see it that way, that you nevertheless stay in that firm energy. And that's also a training. So once you have here, you're trained even further, and then you are really a stable, from this you're really a stable energy for the whole planet. And the more are here, the easier it is for others to also, from these spikes of consciousness, that they become calmer in the higher consciousness. That's how I see it. Yeah, for me at least, it makes sense, and that's what I contemplated and received images of. Yeah, how this grid of 5D is stabilizing and yeah, encapsulating the 3D and or penetrating also from down, breaking the 3D apart, so that the 5D becomes more and more the normal, and that the 3D not has to be fought against. Yeah, that you don't have to fight against it, but that by focusing on the 5D, by aligning to that and stabilizing into it, that automatically at some point 3D will not have the power anymore. The systems have not the power anymore, because you have outgrown. I mean, you have outgrown, and in so many ways, to participate in that. And if no one's participate in it, it has no hold anymore. It has no one to grasp onto, and no one wants to be attached to it. naturally falls away. It's a little bit like a little bit like in a supermarket when there is a product. Yeah, there's a product and maybe a new product, but no one really buys it. So at some point, the supermarket will think about really selling this product, because if no one buys it, it's not really lucrative. It's not really benefiting anyone. It's just thrown away, maybe. So they will not sell it anymore. Yeah, you can maybe think in this analogy that at some point 3D will be outgrown, will not have any hold onto the higher frequency souls or dimensions, or yeah, people embodying that. I mean, the soul is always high frequency. Yeah, even higher. So this is giving you a good overview of 3D, 5D, how I see it, how I see how we can, or how we are already transitioning through the stages of consciousness or levels of consciousness, and might also explain why why you are where you are right now, what your processes in this is, and yeah, to maybe also give the stage to 4D because 4D is sometimes neglected. 4D is necessary as a bridge from 3D to 5D, where the majority of people is, in my opinion. Yeah, and there it is. Yeah, my wish that especially you pay attention to your heart, that you yeah have practices to open your heart, to release what's not serving your heart, to trust again, trust in yourself, also to strengthen your self-worth and self-love, to open yourself to receiving, and to have giving and receiving in balance. These are steps that are beautiful already, to first of all get anchored here, because once that is stable, once your heart is vibrating again, fluttering with excitement, it's easier to then go through that. It's almost like also not only a threshold, but a portal, switch point, gateway. The heart is important in our time quality. So with that, I hope you come back to your heart first of all. Sometimes it's also, yeah, for some not necessary actually to think too much about 3D, 4D, 5D, but to trust whatever you get as downloads, as intuition, as mirrors outside, as encounters, so that you also know that no matter what I've shared today, you are on your path and you have your own specific view that is necessary for the whole entire collective rebuilding of these structures, 5D consciousness. And you don't even have to call it this way. Yeah, it's also a buzzword, as I said, but it somehow connects the dots when we speak in similar terminologies. Just maybe it's also the way of the heart, the way of the soul, the way of love and truth. Yeah, this is underlying the values of it. It's much more important than the label we give it. Yeah, forget the labels, concentrate on the essence of what we are thriving towards, what we dream of, what we long for so deeply. And then you're already doing more than you can, so to say, contributing with your unique soul codes and soul essence for this journey. Yeah. All the love and bliss as always. And we see each other in the next Love Satsang. If you have any questions, comments, further contemplation, please leave them as always in the comments. I would love to hear them, read them. And yeah, also whenever you feel like you need support, I have, of course, also my mentorings. Then we see each other there in more personal, private setting, so that we can dig into what actually occupies you currently the most, where your next evolution is awaiting, where your soul is calling you towards, what to release, what to invite in, what to reclaim, what to journey through. Yes. And with that, so much love again. And until next time.